You're at a party with your partner, their hand in yours, half listening to whatever conversation you're both stuck in, and someone crosses the room. Your eyes go there before you've decided anything. Half a second, maybe less. But it's enough. And then the guilt hits before you've even looked away. You've probably decided that means something, that you're not as happy as you think, or not as loyal as you thought you were. It doesn't. That flicker is one of the oldest scanning systems your brain owns, and right now, it's doing exactly what it was built to do. It was just never built to check whether you're happy first. And to understand why it still fires even when nothing is wrong, you have to go back to a world where a happy pairing was never a guarantee of anything. You live in a band of 30, maybe 40 people. The person beside you tonight is the person you've shared a fire with for years. Picture it. One morning, they don't wake up. No fight. No betrayal. No warning at all. A fever that came on fast 3 nights before finally won. Picture this instead. The food runs out before spring does. The band splits in 2 because there isn't enough to go around for everyone to stay together. You watch half the people you've known your whole life walk one direction. You walk the other. The person beside you tonight might be walking away, and neither of you chose it. Or this, a stronger hunter decides he wants what you have. There's no court to appeal to. No argument that fixes it. He's simply bigger, and now you're not paired anymore. Or worse, a raid from another band takes them outright. No warning. No negotiation. Nothing to be done about it, before or after. None of that ever asked whether you were happy first. Pairings ended like this for nearly 300,000 years, and satisfaction was never once the variable that decided it. So your body didn't wait for trouble to start paying attention. It already knew where the water was, even on a day you weren't thirsty. It already knew the weak point in the next valley over, even with a full belly and no plans to use it. It already clocked which way the wind had shifted on a morning with no hunt planned at all. Information, banked early in case it mattered later, checked quietly in the background on the good days as much as the bad ones. Think about what happened to the ones who didn't carry that habit. When the worst hit, they started from nothing. No sense of who else was even out there, no map, arriving late to whatever partners were left, if any were left at all. The ones who already had the information recovered faster, paired again faster, outlasted the ones who didn't. A pairing got the same treatment, not because anything was wrong with it, because nothing was ever guaranteed to last, and the only way to survive its ending was to already know who else was out there before you needed to. Evolutionary psychologists David Buss and Joshua Duntley have a name for this, a backup mate value monitoring system, insurance. Running quietly, whether you ever cash it in or not. That world, where a happy pairing could end in one bad night, one hard winter, one rival with more strength than you, one raid you never saw coming, is gone. Nothing here tonight is ending anything. So why is the system still running? Back at that party, the moment your eyes moved, nothing about it was a choice. Here's the proof. Psychologist John Manor at Florida State University ran people through a simple test. Show them a screen full of faces. Track exactly where the eyes land and how fast, using a machine built to catch eye movement down to the millisecond. Attractive faces won every time. Not by much. By a hair, attention snapped there before a single conscious thought had time to form. Before the viewer could have told you why, or even that it happened at all. This isn't noticing. Noticing takes time. This is faster than noticing. A reflex, not a thought. Think about how your head turns toward a loud sound before you decide to listen. How you check the exits in a room without deciding to. How you clock the weather the second you step outside. No decision involved anywhere in the chain. Same wiring, same speed, just aimed somewhere else this time. For your ancestors, that scan cost nothing. A glance held for a tenth of a second never threatened a pairing. It just kept the map current, updated, whether you needed it that day or not. Your eyes ran that same scan on a stranger's face at a party while you loved the person next to you completely. The scan didn't know that. The scan doesn't know anything about your relationship, your happiness, or your loyalty. It just runs, the same way it always has, on anyone new who walks into range. So if you can't stop that first half second, what happens in the one right after it? Half a second after your eyes moved, something else happened. You didn't do it. You didn't notice it happening, but it happened anyway. In 1990, psychologists Jeffrey Simpson, Stephen Gongstad, and Marilyn Lerma at Texas A&M University ran an experiment on exactly this gap. They showed people in committed relationships photos of attractive strangers and asked them to rate how appealing those strangers were. Then they showed the exact same photos to people who weren't in a relationship at all. People in happy relationships didn't just shrug off the photos. They rated them lower. Consistently. Same faces, same scale, lower score. The only difference was whether the viewer already had someone. Not because they were lying. Not because they were trying to look loyal for a researcher with a clipboard. The rating happened automatically, underneath conscious thought, the same way the first glance did. 2 moves, back to back. Notice the face. Downgrade the face. Both finished before you've had a single thought about either one. Think of it like a hand that reaches for a hot pen and pulls back before the brain even registers pain. 2 steps. 1 system. No conscious decision anywhere in either step. For your ancestors, this second reflex mattered just as much as the first. A wandering eye that never got quietly talked back down would have meant real pairings breaking apart over nothing but a harmless glance. A partnership worth keeping, thrown away for free. So evolution didn't stop at the notice. It built the correction into the exact same circuit. This is what loyalty actually looks like at the mechanical level. Not a promise you renew every time someone catches your eye. A second reflex, right behind the first one, quietly protecting the pairing you're already in, without asking your permission, and without you ever finding out it happened. And that whole sequence, notice, then downgrade, start to finish, used to fire on a genuinely new face maybe once a month. And here's what nobody points out. The world that gave your ancestors 1 new face a month is not the world you live in. A forging band held 30, maybe 40 people. Most of them family. Most of them faces you'd known since birth. A genuinely new face, someone worth the scan at all, was rare. You'd remember it for weeks. Now, a single commute delivers hundreds. A single scroll delivers more new faces in 90 seconds than an entire ancestral year once did. Grocery store. Gym. A feed you didn't even mean to open. The reflex doesn't check the calendar. It just fires every time on anyone new. It was built to run occasionally on real scarcity. It wasn't built to run constantly on a feed with no bottom. So it isn't misfiring. It's firing correctly over and over at a volume nothing in it was ever calibrated for. The exact same reflex, doing the exact same job thousands of times more often than it ever had to. Here's what's actually happening back at that party in the half second you can't take back. Noticing isn't wanting to leave. It never was. Wanting isn't the same thing as choosing. Your eyes moved. That's all that happened first. There are 2 circuits running here, not one. The first scans anything new that walks into the room. The second, quieter, faster than you'll ever catch it, pulls your attention right back to the person already beside you. Only one of those circuits is yours to steer. The other ran the same way before you were born, and it will keep running the same way regardless of what you decide about it tonight. It was never a vote on how you feel about the person next to you. It isn't a crack in your loyalty. It's loyalty's own machinery. Quiet. Automatic. Doing exactly the job it was built for. At a volume, the modern world just happens to keep turning up. Your ancestors' scanning system did its job in private. A glance. A quiet downgrade. No one ever the wiser. Not even them. Yours does the exact same work tonight. Except the world hands it 100 new faces before dessert and calls what's left over a character flaw. It was never that. It's an old system, still checking, still protecting, still never once asked for your permission, and still, after 300,000 years, never once actually left.